This story comes from Reddit. Years ago, I rented a duplex from a very nice owner. He was honest and reasonable. I paid a healthy security deposit and moved in. Unfortunately, he wasn't my day-to-day contact. That job belonged to the delightful and charming Giselle, the on-site landlord. Later, I found out she was actually a tenant who made a deal with the owner. In exchange for cutting her rent in half, she would collect rent, handle repairs, and manage all day-to-day issues for the 5 duplexes he owned in the area. From day one, Giselle hated me. And to make things worse, she lived in the other half of my duplex. You know all those nightmare landlord stories you see online? Giselle checked every box. She was an HOA-style Karen, obsessed with the rules. She yelled at my friends for parking an inch over on her side, called me whenever my place wasn't dead quiet a minute after quiet hours, claimed my rent checks got lost, and delayed every repair possible. It was annoying, but not unbearable. I told myself I could deal with it until my lease was up. I planned to move closer to work anyway. Later, I found out why she hated me so much. She wanted one of her friends to rent my unit, but the owner rejected that person because of terrible credit. Mine was spotless, and that's why she took it personally. As the end of my lease got closer, my water heater started leaking. I dried the floor, put down towels, and emailed Giselle. No response. A week later, I forwarded the same message politely. You might have missed this, but it could become a serious problem. Still nothing. After another week, I sent one more message explaining that a plumber friend recommended fixing it immediately. Her entire reply was, "I'll look into it." That was it. Clearly, she was trying to run the clock out on me. A month later, with just weeks left before moving, I saw Giselle watering her flowers. I approached her and mentioned the leak. She brushed me off but finished with a threat. "I hope you're keeping it clean. I'm a stickler when it comes to the final inspection. If you want to get your deposit back, you better be ready to pass a white glove test." Fine. That's how we're going to play it? Game on. A week later, right before my final rent payment, I saw the owner in the neighborhood. Giselle wasn't around. I walked over, thanked him for renting to me, and told him I appreciated how nice the place was. He smiled and said he was sorry to see me go. That's when I struck. I asked if he had a few minutes to do the move-out inspection. He agreed. As we walked through, everything looked great, until we got to the water heater. I said calmly, "I hope we can come to an understanding about the floor here." I opened the closet doors, revealing the soaked towels. I explained that I'd been dealing with the leak for a month and was worried about mold. He frowned. "Did you tell Giselle about this?" "Absolutely," I said, and handed him printed copies of our email exchange. He read them carefully, noticed my organized folder, and asked, "Are there other things she ignored?" I showed him more emails, a few other ignored repair requests. His face turned red. Then he said, "All right. Considering what I've seen, I'm fine with releasing your full security deposit." Then an idea hit me. I still owed one more rent payment, $750. So I said, "How about instead of me writing you a check for $750 and you writing me one for $500, I just pay you $250 and we call it even?" He nodded. "Sure." He signed the paperwork and left. A few days later, I dropped my $250 check in the slot. That evening, bang, 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 Giselle was pounding on my door, furious. "You didn't pay the full amount. I can have you evicted if you don't pay up right now." I explained, very calmly, that $750 minus the $500 deposit equaled $250. Her eyes widened as she tried to process it. "That's not how things work. You have to follow the rules. I do the inspections, not him." She was shaking with rage, spitting as she yelled. I said, "Actually, the owner already did the inspection and approved the payment arrangement. Talk to him." Then I slowly closed the door in her face. Her stunned expression, pure disbelief, was something I'll never forget. A few days later, before I moved out, the owner stopped by to fix the water heater for the next tenant. We chatted as he worked, and he mentioned that his daughter was moving into my unit. She was also taking over as the new on-site landlord. I asked about Giselle. He just smiled and said, "She's moving out. Turns out she can't afford to pay full rent anymore." Sweet justice. What do you think? Did he handle it perfectly, or should he have gone even further? Let me know in the comments below.